Company, written by Jennifer Platts-Fanning. This show was meant to be at the theater festival last year, and it was meant to be at Fringe Festival last year. It has started to feel, I'm the director, it has started to feel like the show is a little bit cursed. We've had one role in particular that has had to be recast about 6 times. It feels like the offense against the dark arts position. So, what we're doing is a staged reading with 1 or 2 actors with scripts in hand. Everything else will actually be acted out. Your director is Keir Malone. Hello. We are starting just before the show with a song that is associated with the show called Uncaged. The lyrics are also by the author of the play, Jennifer Platts-Fanning. The music is by Homemaker. The arrangement is by Marti, Hopson, who will also be performing within the show. Our violinist is Hughes, and this will be sung by Gallant. Moments after that is done, the play will begin.
Concrete cracked with every step.
In the midst of a sweltering heat wave, early on in spring, Lily went for a moonlit walk to be alone and sing. She danced around the rowan tree, young, happy, free, singing old forgotten lullabies full of fancy and mystery.
It's time to rest, dear, and face your fears. Come what may, Rowan's gate is open clear. Come what may, protect her from misfortunes near. Come what may.
Oh, the soft swell of Lily's belly is sweetness to behold. A mother deeply in love, glowing with a heart of gold.
Do you smell that, Rowan? The sweetness of a wild rose, encapsulating life, nature's gift for the nose.
As is customary where Lily's from, she parts the soil with her hands, habitually planting seeds to restore all Earth's lands.
Plant a seed, watch it grow, restore the earth, we must go.
Moonbeams darkened along the path as a black dog scampered by, coming excitedly to Lily's side, uttering the most contented sigh.
Hello, Duke. How are you today? Handsome as always, I see.
He was her canine protector.
You're always trailing after me. There you go, boy.
She fed him some bread, morsels kept in her pockets for him, then patted his furry head. The scrawny beast felt a shift in the wood. He delicately nudged Lily's arm so that she understood that not all the night was full of darkness. Shadows did lurk, hearkened by her syrupy voice creeping closer for a look. Out of the darkness and into the light a pack did appear, their gossip poisoning the warm air. A shiver chilled Lily with fear.
Look at that. Shameless. Eating an animal like a pet. I told you that girl was dangerous. She is a walking threat.
Brazen, flaunting her pregnancy as if it were beautiful. Disgraceful! She's absolutely delusional.
Lily lightly passed the group, greeted by looks of disgust. She uttered a polite,
Hello.
feeling their loathing unjust.
Has she not taken the pledge?
A sweaty villager yelled, fanatical.
Oh, women must be fixed. It's totally unethical.
Her parents died in the wildfires. It must have gone amiss.
Said a man named Clive who'd once given Lily more than a kiss.
She should have dealt with it herself. If she believes in human voluntary eradication, it's immoral not to. And it takes everyone's dedication.
In this era, how dare she bring another human onto this sick planet? Does she not care for the environment?
The woman said, most manic.
May I remind you all, there hasn't been a baby in a decade. What's one innocent child?
The group was utterly dismayed.
What's one more straw for the ocean? One more plastic bag? Where does it end, Clive? You have a most displeasing view.
But having a child, it's the most natural thing we do.
Apparently so is destroying this planet. You have a most unpleasant point of view. May I remind you, Clive, that we are a plague on this earth? Have been for 10,000 years. No, it's the planet that needs rebirth. We can't go backwards. Lily must be stopped. She must abort this child, or not.
Plant a seed. Watch it grow. Restore the earth. We must go.
If not, others will get ideas. Think that this is acceptable. Think that they have a choice, that the earth is expendable.
Imagine if we lived in a world where we still had unlimited children. Wasteful and disgraceful. We'd be up to 10 billion.
The absurdity of how people used to live. Like traveling for pleasure. Jetting off to some distant land. Simply for the leisure. No care for the pollution caused. Deserts and jungles trampled. Just so they could say they've been there. Ecosystems forever mangled.
Why was she feeding that feral dog as if it were a pet? is obscene, an insult. One shall come to regret.
The group viewed pets with much displeasure, had known of all the waste. Food, water, plastic toys for billions of pets had left a bitter distaste.
She's a kind girl, and a skilled gardener. She doesn't mean any harm. Think of all the fresh air this child could bring to our town. Think of its innocent laughter and charm.
No, she must not be coddled. We've seen that before. Like creating a vaccine for every disease, only to create more.
Plant a seed. Watch it grow. Restore the earth. We must go.
If we can't have children, neither can she.
Said the leader of the Human Eradication League.
In another decade, we'll allow one child to future mate in another village. Until then, we stick to the ban and let not the earth be pillaged.
If she had any valor, she'd take her own life. There's great honor in voluntary eradication.
The words cut Clive like a knife.
No children until we are down to the number of elephants.
Said the man who seemed a natural-born killer. And they chanted, feeling their ideologies took precedence.
Time to wake up and face the day. Come what may. Drink from apple's rebirth cup. Come what may. Immortality for you to suck. Come what may.
Duke was never far from Lily. They provided each other comfort.
Here, boy, I have something for you.
Then noticed his discomfort. The pack surrounded Lily, chanting their malevolence.
No children until we are down to the number of elephants.
Children.
No
Until we are
children.
down to the number of elephants.
We're down.
No children until we're down to the
As the
number of
leader
children.
of the Human Eradication League, I put this choice to you. Abort this child today, or die. It's up to you to choose.
No, never, I won't!
Her hand circled her gentle swelling as protection.
This child is a sign of hope and love, not one of destruction. You knew the rules, Lily! You've known them all your life. You're not gonna get away with this.
Her voice filled with strife.
Rowan can replace me. Let me deliver her. Then I'll eradicate myself. No more people than before.
No, it doesn't work like that. If we give you an exception, others will follow and spread the human infection.
Rowan is not a disease. I'll not kill her.
Then you will die today and rid the earth of one more litterer. Now, dig.
And they chanted, credulous.
No children
Until
until
we're
we are
down
down
to
to
the
the
number
number
of
of
elephants.
elephants.
But Clive could take no more.
This is madness!
He resounded.
She's but a young animal. Her belly blushed and rounded.
Out of the way, or join her.
But she is not the enemy. The baby's mine. Let me take her place.
He said desperately. His request was met with evil stares.
You'll move or die today.
I've made my choice. I love her.
Then dig without delay.
Plant a seed.
Plant a
Watch
seed.
it grow.
Watch it grow.
Restore the earth.
Restore the earth.
We must
go.
Clive bore the shovel into wet soil until a deep hole did form. Worms and beetles crawled and wriggled beneath his feet. An insect swarm. Standing cold within the shallow pit, muddy, wet, horrified, Clive stared down the barrel of a gun, bravely shielding Lily from the deadly lead inside. Sweat drenched from digging the hollow grave, surrounded by the angry mob, Lily pleaded for the life of their unborn babe in the morning fog.
Please, I beg you!
Lily sobbed, face caked with tears and mud.
I'll kill myself once the babe is born. You don't have to shed any blood.
We'll hear no more!
He commanded. At the yell of his voice, Duke leapt, bit, landed.
Out!
You reap what you sow.
Clive's voice a razor as the dog tore at his leg.
What you're doing is against nature.
With violent rage, Nash kicked the dog hard in the gut. It moaned in pain, struggled to rise.
Get out of here, mutt.
Keeping his eye of the barrel of the gun at the couple, never wavering from their chest, Nash sunk his grimy teeth into a crisp apple, juice spurting from its flesh. Bang! The bullet ripped into Clive's chest.
It's a crime you committed against this planet. Now judgment's been inflicted.
Clive stumbled back, falling hard on Lily, pinning her underneath him, blood soaking her to the ground, mixing with the earth beneath them. Trying to utter his dying words, Clive gasped for air to speak, but he never got the chance to express his love for the damage that had been reaped.
No!
Lily wailed from cold, fear, shock. He died to protect her from the ugliness this mob sought. Coolly, the executioner bit his apple, a snaky grin slithering across his face. Power had gone to his head as he relished his higher place.
It's a shame what must be done.
He said hungrily.
To a body so well strung. All those lovely hills, valleys, olds and prairies, wasted so damn young.
One has already died today.
Lily struggled to say, for the weight of Clive upon her chest took her breath away.
Please, let me take my baby away from all of this. No one else must die here. Just allow me this one wish. You'll never leave this spot. You'll fertilize this ground.
You can't hide from us and the justice we have found.
No. No. You'll be getting led right through your pretty little head. No one breaks the rules around here without their own bloodshed.
Curse you!
She spat.
Even the devil is broken by love. What creatures did you spawn from that made you the void of love?
Lily wrapped her arms around Clive's dead neck, feeling the first kick of their unborn child. Her baby forever out of reach, its innocence irrevocably defiled.
I love you, baby.
The bullet pierced her skull between her eyes, depositing hot lead inside as she muttered her final goodbyes.
Watch it grow. Restore the earth. We must go.
A sly smirk crept upon the executioner's face as he gazed at his handiwork, bodies fallen unceremoniously into the dirt. Taking one last bite from his apple, he tossed the core into the pit where the lovers lay, embraced in death, forever tightly knit.
Eat dirt.
He spat, throwing clay upon the dead. The mob used their hands to fill the grave, covering the mother's beautiful face in her earthen bed. Under a seemingly quiet grave, a hive of activity took place. Fueled by passions not always planted, things moved at a supernaturally fast pace. Gentle spring rain penetrated the unmarked burial, trickling into loose loam. With an infestation of mites, beetles, and maggots, the entangled bodies began to rot in their catacomb. The executioner's apple core settled into the pit of Clive's sunken chest, the flesh of the apple decomposing along with his body until nothing but the seeds were left behind to nest. Embedded in the liquefying corpses of the lovers, one seed began to germinate as their bodies' soft tissues broke down until only the entwined skeletons were left to deteriorate. The roots of the bewitched seed grew and flourished and delicately wound round the bleached bones, weaving them together in a true love's knot, woven so tight they uttered moans and groans. As the roots grew stronger, they delicately crushed the cold bones, nutrient-rich marrow seeping out, enriching the roots and the loam. The slender wooden fingers coiled like claws round the skeleton family, snapping, cracking, continuously wrapping, fusing the three quite dreamily. Lily's blood and marrow flowed through the sapling tree, along with her desire for revenge. She longed to avenge her child, to forever stop the cold executioner's hands. Nourished in that sinful desire, the juices flowed through the fruit tree. Time elapsed, and seasons passed as it grew strong and free. Flowering season burst into life, bees buzzed throughout the woods. Gathering pollen in their baskets, they collected and distributed goods. A single, fresh apple grew, heavy with vitamins, lush color, delectable scent. A beautiful assassin. See, Lily's blood and marrow mixed, and the tree shared blended memories. Her lust for revenge, its purpose, it knew how to fulfill its intent cleverly. Borrowing from its fungal network, the tree sucked in the poison from local mushrooms, happy to share their effective, deadly potion. Drunk by the roots, swept up the gnarled, mighty trunk, the tree was thirsty and wild, intoxicated by the love Lily felt for her child. Absorbed into the sweet scarlet apples hanging from flowery branches. The fruit took on a strange hue. Deadly edibles for the masses. Ooh, scented blossoms lured the woman into the enchanted woods. She came upon an apple tree. Its twisted, gnarled beauty solidly stood. The hanging fruit glistening shone in the morning light. Warm summer droplets shimmered on the leaves, green and bright. The red hue of the apples announced they were ripe, inviting her to harvest their flesh, promising a luscious bite.
These fruits will do perfectly for sweet, warm apple pie. I'll bake them for the picnic, and everyone will be pleasantly surprised.
She breathed in the enticing beauty of the wooded opening. Carpets of warm moss and sweet grass, a splendid place for an annual gathering. She plucked the apples from the tree, placed them in her wicker basket, then skipped off home to bake a recipe most classic. Under the sun-glittering canopy of the marvelous tree, the community gathered round to hear the leader of the human eradication leaders decree.
The era of mass farming is over. Small community gardens flourish and provide. We even hunt very little meat so that the animals too can thrive. We've come so far with sacrifice. Now everyone must keep their place. Now, enjoy this homing feast and this natural space.
As everyone delved into the succulent, lethal pies, people started to moan and cry. They all fell off one by one, till only the executioner was left to die. You can't be still in the woods for long before something falls on your crown. A single heavy apple fell, striking Nash, striking his weakened body down.
I remember this spot from long ago. A child, mother, lover. My reason clouded by anger and resentment.
Suddenly he felt himself shudder. The executioner crawled closer to the tree, touched its rough bark, smelled its woody perfume. He thought he felt something kick, like a child within a womb.
No matter how I was mistaken, no matter how important the cause or ideology, if it loses its humanity, then it's lost all nobility.
Oh, out of the woods limped the ragged old dog. He nuzzled against the tree. A low-hanging branch stroked its fur. Finally, rest in peace for Lily. Nash wrapped his arms round the solid trunk, whispering an apology. Then they both slumped down, fell still to decompose, feeding the soil in the tree. The rest of the apples fell from grace to rot, bleeding poison back to the shrooms. With wild justice and vengeance wrought, nutritious, vivid fruit would forever bloom.